In the city of South Lake Tahoe, residents are being forced to look at their water consumption in a new way. As of April 22nd, or Earth Day as it's popularly known, vendors in the city are no longer allowed to sell plastic water bottles under 2 liters in an effort to reduce plastic waste in and around Lake Tahoe. The ban was passed in conjunction with the ongoing Drink Tahoe Tap initiative, an initiative that asks people to use refillable water bottles and fill them with local tap water instead of purchasing single-use plastic water bottles at the store.
This is a really big experiment in getting people to understand that refilling is really what we need to be doing. Like, it's just forcing the point.
That was Madonna Dunbar, Executive Director of the Tahoe Water Suppliers Association and resource conservationist with the Incline Village General Improvement District. Her group, along with others around the lake, helped pass the new ban and continuously engage in community outreach to educate locals about the issue.
Single use is single use and throwaway. That's insane. Half of the plastic that's made is used once and thrown away. And now we know we have all these impacts from it.
Those impacts are microplastics.
Yeah, so a microplastic, the currently accepted scientific definition, is a piece of plastic that is smaller than 5 millimeters in size. And a good reference point for that would be like a grain of rice. So smaller than a grain of rice is considered to be a microplastic.
Katie Svent is a researcher at the Tahoe Environmental Research Center, helping lead the research on microplastics. After leading a pilot program in 2018 and 2019 that found microplastics at Lake Tahoe's beaches, her team began sampling the microplastics in the water in 2020.
And so we found that in Lake Tahoe, we have a range of 13,000 to 1.2 million particles per square kilometer of lake surface. And our average was around 306,000 particles per square kilometer of lake surface. And the interesting thing there too is that when you compare Tahoe to results from a study in the San Francisco Bay, their average in the bay was around 400,000 particles.
One reason Katie believes the particle levels are so high in the lake is because of the residency time of individual drops of water. According to Katie, 1 drop of water stays in Lake Tahoe for 650 years on average. With the water, and therefore the microplastics, sticking around the lake so long, the question becomes how those microplastics in Lake Tahoe, which is the local water source, affect the health of the humans who drink that water.
So the jury's still out on that. There's been a lot of more research in that area recently. And so we can, definitively and confidently say that microplastics are, entering our bodies, our lungs. They've been found in the bloodstream. But we can't say with high confidence what those impacts are yet on human health. So a lot of work still needs to be done to confirm if there are negative health impacts.
That said, drinking from the local tap water leads to less ingestion of plastic particles than drinking out of a single-use plastic water bottle, according to research from UC Davis.
What I want people to know is that the water suppliers were taking it super seriously. And we've already been working with some local scientists and done some initial sampling. And our intakes are placed out and down in the lake. And that was done strategically years ago as a way to protect the source of the water. And we're finding that intake placement is still excellent. The real point of the problem is that all this stuff is still actually on the consumer. We're allowed to be sold a lot of stuff, put in packaging, and then, hey, you bought your garbage.
This doesn't mean an end to all plastic waste, though. Consumers are still allowed to buy plastic water containers larger than 2 liters, and the ban only applies to uncarbonated, unflavored drinks. This means that typical soda bottles and even flavored water bottles are still sold in South Lake Tahoe.
I think that every step that we can take to curb our appetite for single-use plastics is going to make a difference. And if we're not producing that plastic waste in the first place, it's not going to get in our systems. Any way that we can, create less plastic waste is going to have a positive effect.
Reporting for the Hitchcock Project for Visualizing Science, I'm Amanda Durand.